You guys really love donuts because I've never had so many messages requesting my dough recipe when I shared my Krispy Kreme donuts made in the air fryer. First, I'm Mai of MyHeathyDish and I am ready to make this dough with you and put it in the air fryer. Let's get started. All right, we are starting with 1 cup of warm milk, 1/3 cup of sugar, and 1 tablespoon of dry yeast. Whisk everything together and let sit for about 5 minutes for the yeast to activate. You know when it's ready when the yeast starts to foam and bubble and look like this. Now that our yeast is activated, let's add in 2 room temperature eggs, 6 tablespoons of coconut oil or melted butter, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, half a teaspoon of salt, and then whisk together. Now my recipe calls for 4 cups of flour, but we're going to add it in increments at 2 cups at a time. So we have our 2 cups of flour. Now we're just going to mix gently but thoroughly. And mix, and keep on mixing until you reach that consistency, and then add your remaining 2 cups of flour. And yes, mix again. Now this is around the time where I start debating if I should invest in a stand mixer because there is a lot of mixing and a lot of kneading, to the point where my arms do get a little tired and I feel like I'm getting a workout. After about 10 minutes of kneading, your dough should look like this. This next part takes a little bit of patience. We are going to be waiting for our dough to rise. So spray your bowl with some oil and then spray a little bit on your dough as well. Then we're going to cover with a towel and wait 2 hours until our dough doubles or even triples in size. If your dough has not risen in 2 hours, that means the room temperature in your house is too cold. My trick is just to place it in your oven. All that patience paid off. Let's have a little bit of fun now and make some donuts. First, sprinkle some flour on your cutting board and grab that risen dough. Wait, I think I spoke a little bit too soon because we need to knead this dough one more time for about 5 to 6 minutes. Don't worry, all this kneading and all this work will pay off because your donuts will be nice, fluffy, and airy. Okay, now we can start rolling. So after making this recipe about 3 times already, I just came to the conclusion that the thinner our dough when we cut it, the better. Don't worry, it will rise again. If you don't have a donut cutter, you can also use a mason jar lid. And the tips of your cake frosting to cut out your donut holes. Now this recipe actually makes about 14 to 16 donuts depending on how thin your donuts are when you roll it out. That's right, let's knead again and then roll to make our last remaining donuts. If you made it this far, I just want to congratulate you for being super patient and so committed to this recipe. Here are our donuts, and you see that they're still super flat, but in about 30 to 45 minutes, you will see that it has risen again. And this is so important because you want that fluffy donut. While those donuts are rising, let's make our glaze. That is 1 cup of powdered sugar, and this is a 1/4 cup of condensed milk, and then I added a 1/4 cup of cream. You could also just add milk. For those who want a thicker glaze, I recommend adding another 1/2 cup of powdered sugar. Now mix this all up until you reach a thick but creamy consistency like this. Okay, I'm excited, you're excited, we are ready to air fry some donuts. Spray your dough on both sides with a little bit of oil. I use avocado oil, you could also use olive oil. I definitely recommend testing out a few donuts in the air fryer at a temperature at 325 for about 7 minutes and see if you get the right brown color. This time around, it seems like 7 minutes at 325 was the perfect temperature and time for my donuts. Wow, we did it, guys. Those turned out so perfect. So now that the donuts are still warm, let's dip it in our glaze and then let it cool on a cooling rack. Of course, we have to do the remaining donuts, and I just wanted to show this shot again and again and again because it looks so good. But wait, there's more. I actually am a double dipper when it comes to glazed donuts, and you don't have to do this, but I do. Now tell me in the comments, are you a double dipper like me, or do you prefer a one glazed donut? I hope you guys enjoyed this air fried glazed donut recipe as much as I did. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you on the next one.